And everyone uses the platform to their own sort of very specific outcome they want to drive, but none of that behavior says, hey, I'm here to spam you.
Can you recount some of the most wonderful ideas to emerge out of Sheroes?
Oh, Sheroes has so many wonderful conversations, so many wonderful things happening every single day, but I'll share a few that are close to my heart. So we have a community called Moms with Kids with Disability. And basically it started by somebody saying and making an introductory post about themselves to say how they're a mom to a special child, and somebody else added to it, and somebody else came in to say, hey, you know, they have a sibling who's special. And this thread became a conversation, and then, you know, at the end of the day, we get emails to say, hey, we would like to have a community for moms who have special kids. And, you know, now these moms have a community to themselves that that's where they're sort of rooting for each other, they're sharing their stories. They also meet offline, and they become like a real deal, right? So it's a very heartwarming piece, and now they're getting everybody who works in this, you know, disability ecosystem to sort of converge and come together.
So, like you said, you know, for women, by women, you know, is that a sustainable or a successful business mantra, or how can we involve more men, you know, to play a more fulfilling life role in the lives of women?
Right. So I think if men want to play a role in lives of women,
Yeah,
they have to do the following. One, they have to play an equal role in running homes. Okay, I think women can pretty much manage themselves in the workplace, but I think men need to learn how to cook. They need to be more accountable for emotionally invisible work, right from deciding what presents are to be given in a wedding, to where children are going, to what food is to be cooked. Women do a lot of heavy lifting here, right? Both mental heavy lifting and physical heavy lifting. I think that's the most important contribution men can make. And secondly, I think men need to sort of let women be. You know, the burden of judgments and expectations and, you know, a whole lot of stereotypes that are sort of attached to us need to go away. But I'd be happy if men just start doing more housework and start contributing in the first place there, and the rest of the dynamic will follow.
Okay, so how do brands, you know, find a place in this extremely strong community of women that you have created?
Right.
Yeah.
Look, I think if brands are authentic, they will find very authentic value, right? I just worry that sometimes brands tend to be very plastic about their whole strategy, and I think that's where later dissonance comes in.
Can you give a few examples of that?
You know, look, I think if brands are authentic and they want to create authentic conversations, this is where real users are, right? You're not talking to bots, you're talking to users. You want insights, you want to engage in conversations, you want to create impact, you want to do research, you want to create high retention amongst your users. This is the place to do that. So we work with a whole range of brands, you know, brands like Tinder, we work with Fair and Lovely Foundation, we work with brands like Abbott, and everyone uses the platform to their own sort of very specific outcome they want to drive, but none of that behavior says, hey, I'm here to spam you, you know, and that's the only thing that's sort of non-negotiable. If you're here to engage in a conversation, this is the best place to be.
How does a for-profit enterprise find purpose, you know, in terms of making a positive impact on society?
Every organization needs to have a purpose. I mean, how can you exist without a purpose? Longevity and purpose go together, and if you have these two, profits will never be far. You know, I think profits are a byproduct of purpose. They are not in spite of. I think the truth is, you know, think of it like a bamboo tree. You know, a bamboo tree takes time to seed. You know, purposeful companies may take a little longer to gestate, but the truth is, once they are seeded, it's very hard to uproot them. You can't take away the idea of purpose from people's minds and souls, right? And that's what long-term purposeful brands do. They become part of consciousness, right? They become part of, you know, how work is manifested. And I think that's what it is.
Sheroes is primarily a digital platform. So how do you use social media to increase your presence, and how do you see it evolving, you know, among the younger generation?
Right. So in some ways, Sheroes is also a sort of social media because it's a women's platform,
Right.
Except that we are women only. Look, we feel that every platform has its own strength, and every conversation on a relevant platform
Right.
helps you evangelize the idea. We're a lot of where users are is a space for us to evangelize, right? So, for example, we extensively use Twitter. And I think, unlike a lot of brands, I think Twitter has been a medium of choice, because that's where we have propagated this conversation. This conversation has grown. We've found our stakeholders,
Right.
and of course now there are a range of platforms like TikTok, and of course we as a brand we're moving away from Facebook, because we find that our own sort of resonance with Facebook is much lower than than what we would like. But look, we'll go where users are, and we're happy to take the idea wherever they're takers. Are there a lot of people who are able to discover us, when we go to a new platform? And it's a process, and the same stands for a lot of people coming to Sheroes to find, a kind of demographic they wouldn't otherwise be part of.